Good afternoon, everybody. Today I am going to continue the paragraph 31 and 32. Jim and Bungan were surprised by the sound of distant cannon fire. As Jim and Ben they went there and they heard the far sound of cannon fire, and they were shocked to hear that sound. Jim told Ben Gunn about Long John Silver and the pirates and asked him to go with him to find his friends. Ben shook his head. He said that he knew Long John Silver from way back. So, as Jim told about Ben Gunn and Long John Silver and the other pirates, then Ben shook his head and he said that he knew Long John Silver when they were both members of the Flint's crew. So here Long John Silver knew, knew to Ben Gunn when they both were the Captain Flint's crew, and added that if Jim's friends gave him a promise of a safe passage home, then he would help them. With that, he slipped away into the undergrowth. So, as Long John Silver and Ben Gunn, they both were knowing each other. Then Ben Gunn said that if Jim and his friends they promise that they will they will help Ben Gunn to reach his place safely, then surely he will help them. When it was evening, the pirates stopped their allies' useless bombardment. So when it was evening, the pirates they stopped their bombardments. Jim approached the stockade cautiously. Then, very carefully, Jim went near the stockade. But when he saw the Union Jack flying about it, he knew that it was his allies who occupied it. So when he went near that time, Jim knew that he they were the persons who were cooperating the military, means those people knew Jim. Jim's friends were delighted to see him safe and sound. So when those people saw Jim, they were very happy because Jim was safe and amazed to hear about Ben Gunn, as Jim told everything about Ben Gunn, and they were shocked to hear about him. The captain then told everyone it was time to sleep. Then the captain of the ship told that it was a time to sleep. Along with him, the squire and the doctor, there were just two more of the squire's men, plus one sailor. So including squire, doctor, and other two men, one sailor was also there with them, who had remained loyal, and they all were loyal with them. 6 men and a boy against the 15 pirates who still survived. So 6 men and the 15 pirates, they were also survived. The next morning, Long John Silver appeared at the stockade's perimeter fence. So the next morning, they saw that Long John Silver appeared near the boundary, carrying a flag of truce. And he had a flag of truce. So A flag of truce means an agreement between enemies or opponents. He offered to spare the defenders' lives if they gave him the treasure map, and he said that he will spare the lives of the people if they give him the treasure map. Captain Smollett refused him point blank. Straightforward, Captain Smollett refused that he won't give the treasure map to him, saying the pirate's word was not worth a rotten ship's biscuit. So here he said that the pirate's words are worthless. It is not at all worthy. So here rotten ship's biscuit means hard, saltless or untasty biscuit. Here we can get the meaning that whatever the pirate says, his words are unworthy. No sooner had Long John Silver hobbled angrily away than the pirates attacked the stockade. So when as soon as Long John Silver hobbled angrily, then the other pirates they attacked the stockade. The defenders retreated into the log cabin from which they exchanged musket fire with the pirates. Suddenly, several attackers swarmed over the perimeter fence. Two were shot down, one retreated, but four of them made it to do the cabin wall, where they were able to shoot in through the building's loopholes at will. Releasing the tables had been turned. The defenders rushed outside and fought the pirate hand to hand. A few minutes later, the pirates lay dead. There was a fight between the pirates and the people. So, a few minutes later, the pirates lie down on the floor and they were dead. But two of the squire's men had perished as well. Two of the squire's men also lost their lives, and the captain was wounded. The captain was injured. While the remaining defenders buried the dead, the doctor made his way off into the woods. So when the defenders were burying the dead bodies, by the time the doctor went went off into the forest, intent on a secret plan. He had a secret plan. Jim too had an idea. Jim also had an idea. With darkness approaching, he armed himself with a pistol and slipped away into the shadows. He made his way to the seashore. Jim also went near to the seashore, where he found a small homemade boat that Ben Gunn had told him about. So as Ben Gunn, he had told his plan, he had made a small boat. The little craft closely resembled a coracle. So the boat which he had made it seemed like a coracle. Coracle means a small light boat. And was very difficult to handle. But he succeeded in paddling it out to the Hispaniola. So he felt it very difficult to handle it, but anyhow he reached near to the Hispaniola, from which drunken shouting voices could be heard. From Hispaniola they heard the drunken shouted voices. Jim wasted no time cutting through the ship's mooring ropes and setting it adrift. By the time the tide was ebbing fast and the current in the channel was very strong. So when he was reaching to Hispaniola, by that time the waves were very strong. Thinking he was as good as dead. So he was thinking that it would be good if he would have died. He allowed exhaustion to overwhelm him. The next morning, Jim awoke to find himself drifting near to the island's north coast. Close by was the Hispaniola. Then he found that he was very near to Hispaniola, the ship, seemingly deserted. He hurriedly paddled over to it and clambered aboard, and he was successful in climbing into the Hispaniola. On the ship, Jim found the two pirates whose raised voices he had heard the night before. So before night, whoever's voices he had heard, he saw them. They had obviously had a fight. One lay dead, the other had a bad wound in his thigh. So both the pirates had fought, and one was already dead and another one had the wound on his thigh. Jim took the ship's wheel and steered for a creek in the north of the island. Jim started rowing the ship and he was going in the northern direction of the island, where it could safely be run ashore. The surviving pirate, who minutes before had seemed to be gravely wounded, suddenly sprang at Jim. As the ship ran gently aground, the pirate chased Jim up the mainmast rigging and threw a knife at him, although Jim was slightly wounded. So here, the pirate who was there, he wanted to kill Jim, so he threw his knife on him, but Jim was slightly wounded. He managed to aim his pistol and shoot his attacker dead. On the other hand, Jim used his pistol and shoot the attacker, and the attacker was dead. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the lesson Treasure Island. Let us go with the next paragraph. Very pleased that he had captured the ship and it was in a safe place. Jim was very happy because he had captured the ship and it was going to a safe place. Jim made his way back to the stockade. Then Jim went to the stockade, but to his horror, it was Long John Silver and the pirates who greeted him. There he was shocked because there he was welcomed by Long John Silver and the other pirates. For some reason, the doctor had given it up to them. They were there because, due to some reason, the doctor had given them to greet him, along with the treasure map. They had the treasure map also. Long John Silver told him that as he had been deserted by his friends, he should now join the pirates, but Jim refused. So Long John Silver, he said that he was cheated by his friend and now he wanted to join with these pirates. Jim said that after seeing so much treachery and blood, he no longer cared what happened to him. Jim had seen that number of persons cheated him and number of persons were killed in front of him. So now he had no fear of anything. But he wanted the pirates to know that it was he who uncovered their plot. Jim's intention was that he wanted to show to the other pirates that the plan, whichever was made, it was disclosed by him, and it was he who took the ship, and Jim was the person who has taken the ship. The other pirates wanted to kill him, but Long John Silver was impressed by his brave speech and told his men the lad would be of far more use to them as a live hostage than a dead cabin boy. Here, after hearing the speech of Jim, Long John Silver was impressed, and he told the other pirates that Jim is very useful to him. Let him not be killed. Long John Silver whispered to Jim that with the ship gone, he was in a desperate pickle. Then Long John Silver slowly he said to Jim that when the ship moved, he was in a very great difficulty. He gave Jim to understand that if he were given the promise of lenient treatment, he would be prepared to surrender to Captain Smollett. Then Jim gave the treasure map also, and he said that if he is treated well with the other pirates, then he is ready to bring back Captain Smollett in front of them. The pirates, meanwhile, were very angry at losing so many men and being marooned. So, in between, number of pirates were killed, number of pirates were lost, and gave Long John Silver the black spot. On its other side was the world deposed, and who doomed the mission to failure. And they were thinking that how their mission was failed. The one-legged pirate yelled at them if they had waited until after the treasure was found before mutinying, then by now they would all have been rich. So all of them, they forgot the remaining things, and they thought that if they get the treasure, they all would become rich. A little later, Dr. Livesey appeared under a flag of truce and treated the wounded men and those who were now suffering from malaria. So after a short time, Dr. Livesey came there and he showed the agreement, flag of agreement, and he started treating the wounded persons, and some of them they were suffering from malaria. For them also he treated. He was allowed a few words with Jim, who told him all about taking the ship. The doctor replied he had done very well. Then Jim said how he came there, how he had brought the ship, most especially in finding Ben Gunn. And he said that how he found Ben Gunn. Before leaving again, he warned Long John Silver to beware of squalls when digging up the treasure. And he also said that they should be very careful they should be very careful about the violent cries and the quarrels before they get the treasure. After breakfast, the pirates set off to find the treasure. So as they had their breakfast, then later they started searching the treasure, taking Jim, who was tied to a rope. As Jim was tied to a rope, they took Jim also to search the treasure. Jim was still very puzzled as to why the doctor had given the pirates both the stockade and the treasure map. So Jim was shocked to see that why the doctor had given the treasure map to the pirates, but he supposed it must have been part of some plan. Then very soon Jim understood that It may be one of the plan of Dr. Livesey. At length, following the directions of the treasure map, the pirates reached a clearing in which they found a sun-bleached skeleton. So as they started searching according to the map, they found a skeleton. Suddenly an airy voice rang out. Suddenly they heard a sound, singing 15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. Terrified. So as they hear the words of this song, all of them were shocked. The pirates stopped dead. They were very, very much shocked. Even Long John Silver looked frightened, but then he told his men that ghost voice did not echo like that. Long John Silver thought that it may be the ghost. Then he says, it may not be the voice of the ghost because it will not echo. And anyway, ghost or no, nothing was going to keep them from their booty. And as they thought that, let it be the ghost or let it be anyone, they won't stop searching the wealth. The pirates moved on again and eventually caught sight of the giant tree that marked the spot where Captain Flint had buried the bulk of his treasure. As according to the map, they found a very big tree, and there, the place they found where Captain Flint had buried that huge treasure. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me continue the remaining paragraphs of the lesson, The Treasure Island. Long John Silver's eyes gleamed with greed, and Jim knew that any promises he had made were now completely forgotten. Long John Silver, he was he was gleaming with greed, and Jim was confident that whatever promises he had made, surely he might have forgotten it. Then the pirates let out a gasp of dismay. All the pirates, those who were there, they were very sad, for under the tree was a gaping hole in the ground. They were sad because they saw a gap in the hole that had obviously been dug several months ago. The hole shows that before several months somebody had dug that hole. The despairing pirates dug the earth at the bottom of the hole with their bare hands. All the pirates, those who were there, they were unhappy, but they tried their best to dig it as they dug with their bare hands. But the treasure had gone, but they could not find any treasure there because already it was taken by other persons. Then they turned on Long John Silver and Jim. So the pirates, they were very angry on Long John Silver and Jim, accusing them of treachery. So those pirates, they were very angry because they thought Long John Silver and Jim, they are traitors. But before they could do them any harm, a volley of gunshot rang out. So before they harm, they were affected with the volley of gun shots. Two of the pirates fell to the ground dead. The remaining three turned and ran for their lives. So here, as due to the gun shoots, two pirates, they fell on the ground, they lost their lives, and three of them, they ran away. Dr. Livesey, Square Trelawney, and Ben Gunn stepped out of the nearby undergrowth. Their muskets still smoking. The doctor told Jim and Long John Silver that they had only reached them in time because Ben had held the pirates up with his ghostly song. Dr. Livesey, Square Trelawney, and Ben Gunn stepped out of the nearby undergrowth, their muskets still smoking. So Dr. Livesey, Square Trelawney, and Ben Gunn, they stepped out of the nearby undergrowth, their masks, their muskets still they were smoking. The doctor told Jim and Long John Silver that they had only reached them in time because Ben had held the pirates up with his ghostly song. As they made their way to Ben Gunn's cave, where Captain Smollett was recovering, the doctor explained how he had gone to find Ben Gunn. As they went there, they found that Ben Gunn was also there, and he was explaining that how he searched Ben Gunn. When he learned that Ben Gunn had already found the treasure and taken it to the king. Then he said that Ben Gunn already he took the treasure and he went to cave, and also saw that the ship had vanished and the ship had moved already. It was not there. He gave the pirates the treasure map, which was now useless. Then he gave the map because already the treasure was taken, and let them have the stockade where he was sure they would go down with malaria. Over the next few days, those who were still fit enough loaded all treasure onto Hispaniola, and those who were remaining there, they also loaded all the treasure into the ship Hispaniola, which was easily floated on a high tide. The captain on the road to recovery said that because they were so short handed, they should sail to the nearby Spanish Americas to take on more men. The three surviving pirates were left on the island, a much more humane punishment than they had planned for their victims. As three pirates who were survived, they were left over on the island, and it was the punishment as they planned for that. As the Hispaniola sailed away, one of them shouldered his musket and put a ball inches over Long John Silver's head. Means they tried to kill Long John Silver. On reaching the mainland, more crew were taken on. Long John Silver managed to slip off board, taking with him some 400 in coins. Everyone was relieved to see the last of him. All were happy to see him. The journey back to England passed without incident. So on the way they did not face any incident. The expedition's survivors all received an ample share of the treasure. So all the persons who were there with them, those who were survived, they got a good share of treasure, and while the rest used their money wisely, and those whoever took the treasure, they utilized their money wisely. Jim learned that Ben Gunn was a poor again within the month, and Jim understood that Ben Gunn will be poor within a month. Jim never had the urge to go to sea again. So Jim did not want to go back to the sea as he was not in urgent, especially not to Treasure Island, although it was said that some of the treasures still remain undug. So why he did not want to go away from there? Because as he had heard that Still some treasure is undug there. In his worst nightmares, he would dream of the surf breaking over the island's rocks and Captain Flint's shrill cry, "Pieces of eight, pieces of eight." Again he heard the sound of this song.